soldier, robot dog soldier. Whoa, yeah. Think of me as your robot dog soldier. One who there through it can think. And although the thing has been so much, it's only the thick to come. Now I'm gonna stick it out here. Oh, yeah. Think of me as your rubber dub soldier. I sing from part 1 unto 92. Every verse and every chapter, I sing it from chapter to chapter. But think of me as a rubber dub soldier. You think of me as your rubber dub soldier. One would there go well and thing.
You're just a two-timer. You're too tight, you're lover. You walk out for another. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And out you go. You're gone like a storm. And you took your charm. But you let me loving you. You let me holding you. You let me loving you. You let me holding you. You played your games, make me feel ashamed. Round and complain, but you keep on doing the same. But I gotta get over you. No matter how long it might take to, I just gotta get over you. No matter how long it might take to, you're just a trickster. Taking me all around. You always wanna put you down.
You know you're looking good, darling, just like you know you should. Yeah. Hey girl, you know you're looking good, just like you should. Hey girl, you know you're looking good, just like you should. I saw you down the street, and you look so sweet. The dress that you had on was ice golden green. And when I spot you, girl,
You know you touch my heart. You know a girl like you should be on my top. So hey girl, you know you're looking good. You know you're looking good. Hey girl.
Wow. That's incredibly fun. Hey, hi there. How we doing? Great to see you. Great to have you back. It's been another big week in the life, huh? And a big week in the life of the Rush Hour. Presented better on 103.9 ESPN in Palm Springs, California. You may or may not have noticed that all of our technical internet work is done. Should be firing on all platforms that's still a little bit hot, isn't it? I love that. Should be firing on all platforms as we speak. So it's all happening. The next step, even before the podcast, will be getting the show back on the FM airwaves down in the desert at least a couple of times a week. So it's all happening. Keep your hands inside the car and the bar in your lap because we're picking up speed. And last week, boy, I told you 2 weeks ago that we're just going to get weirder and weirder, but they're also weird in the sports department. I know I started last week's show by saying I didn't like the Dodgers' chances to come back against the Braves. Who could have really blamed me at that point, down 3-1? But I also pointed out that I was looking forward to watching Spurs. I'm not sure if you saw what happened there. It had its good points, I suppose. So I'm going to try a new strategy tonight. Here we go. This is it. I think both Dodgers and the Spurs are going to struggle this weekend. They're not going to get it done. Something's going to happen, and neither team is going to be able to win. So since that didn't work last week, let's see if it works this week. All right. As many of you know, I've been on the cutting edge of Corona sports since this show is actually a partnership and broadcasted from a real life grown-up studio and not a basement bar, which is pretty cool, but it's not a studio, right? So what we're going to do today is stay right on brand and say, wow, the return of the Big Ten this weekend is so clearly, brutally, and painfully about money that it's sad. Even heard some folks just come right out and say it, that we've got to do it for the money. Keep this in mind. It will happen at the end of a week that, well, let's put it like this. If someone asked you where the nation's hottest COVID spots are, where the biggest outbreaks are happening right now, you could accurately say the Big Ten states. Michigan can't go to class, but they're going to play football this weekend. It's insanity. I wish I could come up with the guy who said it, because I've used this quote before without attribution. I wasn't smart enough to come up with it myself. Back when baseball season was beginning, remember that? Remember when the Miami dressing room was ate up with Corona? They were canceling games left and right, and players were going to casinos, and the leagues had to put babysitters in place to make sure the teams were complying with protocols. There were also massive protests for racial equality breaking out nationwide, and in Major League Baseball, testing wasn't adequate. Things were helter-skelter. Training camps were being closed. Things kept getting worse in the country at large, and players started opting out. Remember David Price, Dodger fans? Anyway, I think it was Archie Bradley who said sports are a reward for a functioning society. For whatever reasons, political, biological, social, we weren't functioning properly. In fact, really, all the social malfunctions we were ignoring when things were normal. These days, we know more about what we can and cannot do under the circumstances, including safely play sports in a bubble. And because it can't bubble up, football is struggling with the disease right now, and for all the other reasons I said it would struggle way back in April. And that's just the pros. They're paid to take risks. That's what they do, COVID or no. The college kids, wow, there's really just no excuse to let them play other than to generate the dough. I know the fans want to see it. I know the players want to play. But that's exactly when the smarter people, which is what you would assume are at the head of our institutions of higher learning, should step in and say, no, it's not safe right now. We run this university. We love this university. We see what not playing is doing to our bottom line. But we are not going to risk the lives and long-term health of our athletes and future alumni, not to mention our fans and stadium workers, by playing football under the current circumstances. If the numbers in our state were better, we'd play. If we felt we could bubble up the players and our opponents were bubbling theirs, we'd play. That's not where we're at. So we're not going to play. Get mad at us if you want, but you can fire us if you want. Well, I won't have a job anymore. I will be able to sleep at night. We don't have that leadership or that political will at any level right now. So we'll play football this week. Universities will make money. And until a player passes away of a COVID-related disease that he contracted during competition, we'll just plow through. That's our plan. So good luck, Big Ten. Guess we're going to watch. What else are we going to do? Can't go to class. Can't pack the stadium. Might as well stay home, stay safe, and watch unpaid athletes entertain us. There you have it. October 23rd, 2020. If you haven't voted yet, don't wait. And for heaven's sake, do it. And I'll be back next week for the pre-election show. And now that all the technicals are sorted out, I'm going to actually play the social media game instead of try to figure out how to do it. It's Twitter at Planet McKay and at the Rush Hour. Instagram at the Rush Hour ESPN and good Ol Matty. And the videos are going up on YouTube at Matt McKay. Now that this is over, I'm going to let the Dodger fan in me start to get a little more nervous. You've been listening to the back page. It's the tip of the spear of the Rush Hour, ESPN 103.9, perform better, that much closer to getting back on the air there. Thanks again. Have a great week. Go Dodgers, and let's go vote.
I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. In Salt Lake, Joe, by God, says I, him standing by my bed. They framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I ain't dead. Says Joe, but I ain't dead. The copper bosses shot you, Joe. They killed you, Joe, says I. Takes more than guns to kill a man. Says Joe, I didn't die. Says Joe, I didn't die. And standing there as big as life and smiling with his eyes, Joe says what they forgot to kill went on to organize. Went on to organize. Joe Hill ain't dead, he says to me. Joe Hill ain't never died. Where working men are out on strike, Joe Hill is at their side. Joe Hill is at their side. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where workers strike and organize, says he'll find Joe Hill. Says he'll find Joe Hill. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. I never died, says he.